Going on, guys? It's Dip here. I'm trying to make a kind of different video today. I've been getting a lot of questions inside the game and outside the game lately on I need to make different videos specifically for different levels of spending in terms of like what advice I give to people that aren't going to spend money versus advice I'd give to people that are going to spend money. The big thing that I think, when people ask me this question, I immediately think that you're missing some game knowledge in terms of how this game operates and works. My advice for someone who is going to spend $0 and my advice for someone who is going to spend a moderate amount of money, 50 bucks here, 20 bucks there on a battle pass, things like that, changes absolutely nothing. There's no advice difference that I'm going to give to someone not spending versus advice that I'm going to give to someone spending, because people that play correctly for free have the exact same access to anything that people that spend a moderate amount of money will get. The only difference is people that spend ridiculous amounts of money. And that's the only advice that's going to change if someone's willing to drop $3,000 or $4,000 on something that I honestly wouldn't even recommend anyone to do it, because none of them are that good. But I made a list. I have a notepad thing here, and I'll go over each of these. But the majority of the things that you can't get, so these are everything that's blocked behind a paywall in this game. And this was before, I made this list prior to them putting out the new Battle Pass things. I'll go over those a little bit at the end of the video, but they have 3 new Battle Pass, like limited time Battle Pass stamp rewards for the next 5 months. And now they actually made it so that you can get the Death Carrier and you can get the 6-star Death Carrier for free. So that it's no longer blocked behind a paywall, but that just kind of proves my point that the developers eventually make things that are typically locked behind money for free, and all it does is piss off people that spend. It doesn't piss off free-to-play players, but the only one here, the Constellation Carriers are probably the only thing on here that I think is kind of ridiculous, because none of them are really that strong, that they're locked behind money. You can get every single carrier in this game, 6-star, 5-star, you can get all of them entirely for free. The only ones that I would say are probably locked, or are locked behind a paywall, and actually I probably have to add them because they didn't come out when I first made this. So number 10 down here, I'm going to add in the Athena, just came out, and then number 11, this notepad's kind of odd, the new one, Zeus. I spelled that wrong, Zeus. So these 2 new carriers are definitely locked behind a paywall. There's no arguing that. They're not going to put them out for free at, I would say, probably at any point. But, I thought that about the Hades and the Bush, and now both of those can be obtained for free. It's just rare. Like, it's going to be really, really hard to get them. I'm not saying it's easy, but you can get them for free. So these 2 are probably going to be locked behind a paywall for a very long time. All of these, or most all of these, other than the Constellation Carriers and the Mastery, these T6 and T7 Masteries, and Geniuses. So there's 3 of them. But all of the other ones are on the level 250 plus Battle Pass rewards and the level 450 plus Battle Pass rewards. How you can kind of see where these are, go to the stamp rewards. These first 3 are the new ones. I won't talk about those yet. But Stamp of the Participant, this is the thing that you get for the basic Battle Pass. Stamp of the Striver is, notice this is the 250 plus Battle Pass rewards. This is behind a paywall, and what I'm referring to, and this, and the winner 450 plus is behind a paywall. There's no way to get that high without spending a ridiculous amount of money. And there's not a single thing in here on either of these, actually, other than Lucifer Wings. This is really good. Can't argue it. There's nothing in these that are so broken that you will not be able to compete with them. Everything on there, any one other than, probably the CIWS systems here. Anyway, so those are the things that are going to be behind money. Anything else, I'll say that you definitely can get entirely for free. It's just going to take a long time. It's going to take a while, right? So in the stamp rewards, under the stamp of the participant here, all of these prizes will eventually be available to you, but they are going to take a while. Getting, you're guaranteed SS after a certain point too, of like whatever 6-star carrier you get. You'll probably get it way before this, because this is 3 years of getting the battle pass consistently every month. There are a couple ways to get it for free. Well, there's really only one. Someone's going to have to buy it for you if you're not spending a dime on the game. I do recommend $20 every month or so is probably not too bad. This is a hobby for a lot of people. Spend $20. It's right, just to get it the easy way. But I have bought battle passes for teammates before, and specifically I buy them for a couple things. One is it's really just one thing. When players on my team go above and beyond for our alliance, like if they, if we really need a server merge and people are struggling to get points, leaving the alliance to go feed millions of resources worth of warships to our teammates to make sure everyone gets points. I bought battle passes for people for doing stuff like that. But there is the obvious reason that people will ask for uranium. It is, according to the developers, it's illegal to trade uranium for the battle pass. I don't really see why, but they do. The developers get their money either way. So they're still getting the money from the one guy that's spending it. So I don't really understand why it's illegal, but they do get people in trouble for that. So just be careful if you're going to do that. Anyway, so again, the advice that I give people for free-to-play players is going to be the exact same advice that I give you if you are not a free-to-play player. Everything in this game, other than the super carriers, Athena, and anything on that list, everything is obtainable with enough time. The only thing that you're not going to get if that money buys you, if it's something that's not on that list, is it buys you time back. It's the only thing. You're just speeding up the process at which you will get stuff, which is why people that aren't willing to spend thousands of dollars all at one time always feel like the money they spend gets outplayed very quickly, or it's not even worth spending money on it, which, to be fair, it's not. It's a video game. It's not worth spending money on. But they're getting beat by players who don't spend anything but know how to play the game. So realistically, they're just getting mad because they're trying to speed their way to beat other people, and people just know how to play the game better than them. I use this guy as an example in pretty much every one of my videos. He's a player on my team. His name is PonkX. He's down here. This dude has not spent a dime on this game. All of the geniuses that he has, and they're all really high talents, 70, 66, all of this. He hasn't spent a dime on the game. He just spends all of the DNA that he gets from battle passes on these at the right time and levels everything up. He doesn't even have level 80 for a couple of these psionic zones, but this is like, if you're playing for about a year, this is what I would expect from every player, even if you're spending money or not spending money in a psionic zone. If I don't see your psionic zone like this, I know there's a knowledge gap somewhere in there, that you just don't know how to play the game, or you're not utilizing your resources properly. Dude has never spent a dime on the entire game, has a JFK that can knock out 99% of the players on our server. He has a Nyx that can out-dodge 99% of the players on our server. Nyx has like 360% dodge. It has as much as my Lincoln does, and obviously I spend money. I would just say that this guy probably, he definitely has probably the best grasp out of any free-to-play player of how to play this game and how to manage your resources. I would argue that he's probably the best free-to-play player on this game that I've come across. But anyway, that's kind of what I would expect from a free-to-play player. And if you're not at that point and you have spent money, I would recommend probably trying to ask for some help, because it looks like there's some knowledge barrier or knowledge gap between how you're going to actually optimally play this game and what people can be doing for free. So you're just going to get mad if you spend money. Anyway, so as far as how to get everything, this video would be 6 hours long if I explain that. But couple tips. The real easy one, actually, to the bottom, yeah. make sure you pick up this 1,000 gold every single day. This is just advice for every player, whether you spend money or whether you don't spend money. Pick up this 1,000 gold every single day. It costs 1,000 photonic crystals. You can get it every day, but just by doing all 3 of the pirate events, you get 1,080. So I recommend setting an alarm when the pirate events go off, and once you get to a certain point where you can hit like level 25 pirates, you just go hit 1 or 2 pirates and the entire event's done. It takes 2 minutes every, set an alarm for like, I think the event comes up every 8 hours. Set an alarm, wake up in the middle of the night, hit 1 pirate, go back to sleep. Will not affect your sleep quality or anything like that too much. And it is what other players are doing to beat you. This is a competitive game. That is what they're doing. So save up that gold, and when you have 100 gold, when you have, 100,000 gold or more, I would recommend saving up a little bit more. There's events that come up every couple months that are spend 1,000 gold and get the following prize. And sometimes it's an Imperial, sometimes it's an Agaris, sometimes it's the Xeon H20, sometimes it's warship planes, whatever. So these players, these free-to-play players, are maximizing the return on these events, and they're maximizing the use of this free gold to get pieces that they need to make really, really strong builds without spending a dime. And that's how they're beating you. Making sure that you're managing all of these cross-server exchange resources well is another big thing. I can't make a video on what to spend each one on because the advice will change depending on what carrier you're using. It would change depending on what carriers are beating you. All of that's situational. But all I can say is how to get those geniuses. It's right here. Rare genius coupon. Look at that. Eisenhower, Genghis Khan, MacArthur. All of these guys are super useful, right? Like the ones that you really need are right here. Eisenhower, Genghis Khan, MacArthur. And this trifecta is great for every setup down the road. And that's really what you need to get Miyamoto. There's certain events that, they'll give you a talented one, which is like a 45 or 40 plus talent genius. And you might just have to get lucky a couple times up until you get them to talent level 53. Sometimes you just get them that are 49 or 51, right? And you just get a second one, merge it up to 53, and then you can use DNA the rest of the way to get them all the way to the top. But anyway, I think that's pretty much all of just maximize the use of your currencies. This is for both free people and spenders. Maximize the use of this supply exchange office. Make sure that you're making the right decisions and plan months ahead of time. Okay, you should be making sure that you're going towards a specific build months in advance. And if something changes along the way, say you do spend money, say you are getting, say you spend money to get there faster, then you'll get there faster. If you choose not to spend money, you'll get there eventually, and you just have to be okay with sometimes you're just going to lose because some dude spent some money to get a month ahead of you. And then you're going to catch up to them when they don't realize how to play, and you do, and you're going to catch up to them and beat them. So I hope that, that advice helps you guys. The only other thing that I did want to talk about in this video, the masteries. Number 8 on this list. You can get 1 or 2 of these for free. It's just not feasible to get all of the ones that you need, which are the masteries that I use on my ships here, right? All of these guys. This is not viable for pretty much most people to get. If you don't understand the game fully, stay at T6. Never go to T7. Because if you go to T7, your power is going to skyrocket. You're always going to fight the top players in your server, top players in the game, and you're going to get annihilated. So stay at T6. You can be just as strong as other players. I personally still lose to players on T6 all the time that are really good players. Don't go to T7 unless you're willing to fight the strongest players in the game. It's just going to skyrocket your power. But these masteries aren't really viable for most people. For most people, just follow the typical rules. If you want a warship setup, try to defend them as best as possible. If you need barrier, get barrier mastery, put it on all 6 ships. That works fine. These advanced masteries are just not viable for most people to get. I guarantee you in 5 or 6 months time from me making this video, they will be much easier to get for free players, and it might become viable later on, but as of right now, it's not worth spending if you're if you're free to play or trying to spend as minimal as possible. These are not possible to get for free, or at least easily able to get for free. It would take years, and by then they're going to make it way easier. So don't even waste your time. If you want them, spend money on them right now. If you don't want them or you're not going to buy them, maybe they become easier down the road. Other than that, I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comments. I'm going to put my line ID down there. I'm thinking of starting a Discord channel for people to ask general questions. I might charge a membership fee for it, but I haven't really decided that yet. Just let me know if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. Have a good one.